Alright guys, so today we're going to be installing the Haltech ECU. It's a plug and play computer, so it's pretty straightforward. You'll need to take the screw out here, there's one here, and then there's one right there. The original owner of this car had put in a BR ECU and has some like wiring that goes to it, and this is the little switch right here. Not sure what it's for, but I guess we'll find out soon because we'll see where this wire is plugged into and go from there. Body clip there. All right. Apparently there's no screw in here. I mean, there's supposed to be, but mine didn't have one in there. Okay. This blue wire is spliced into something, and this actually goes to the back of the computer here, so don't know what that is yet. Oh, there's another screw on here. There we go. This goes into the back of the ECU, so maybe I'll never know what it's used for. But to get the wiring harness off, you just, not a screw, so I'll need to get a socket. Alright, so that's the BR ECU. Here's the plug and play Haltech. So, same pattern there. Of course, there's no mounting brackets or anything on this. Just want to make sure everything's all lined up right. I don't want to bend any connections or I think it's good. But in addition, I also have this Haltech auxiliary harness here, and what that does is it plugs into the back in here, and it allows you to wire in some more settings, or not settings, sensors, like, you know, an extra wideband or stuff that you want to turn on with relays, like an auxiliary fuel system or an external map sensor, which I'm going to be doing. I have a wideband that's PLX devices, but I've heard that, you know, sometimes the wiring can, you know, come loose, or it can just fail in general. So I actually went ahead and purchased the Haltech wideband controller that uses the CAN network. and it will plug in right here, and basically it's just like it doesn't use up any of the wiring here. It's an internal network, so it'll read straight through the CAN port and do the tuning that way. So I actually can hook up both widebands if I wanted, but I am going to use the Haltech one for the tuning and use my wideband just to keep an eye on things through the gauge. So anyway, that's pretty much the install. I mean, besides zip tying it up into place, but I'm not going to do that yet because I want to make sure I get all my wiring situated, get everything all tucked up nice, and then we'll show you an end result after that's done.
Alright guys, so I've got my 3-bar map sensor wiring coming in through the firewall and then passed over. I'm going to have to zip tie all that stuff up, but it's coming past the center console and out the other side, and we're going to hook it to our auxiliary harness here. And if you have one of these, it should be labeled somewhere on the wires. Let me just try and undo it with one hand here. There's the labels. So, one should be map. There you go, this one. See? AVI1 map. And what we're going to do is hook these 3 wires into the 3 wires that we ran and just match up the colors. So I just have to look at the wiring diagram for this to make sure what colors are what, and that should be it. Then we'll have to hook up the O2, or wideband O2. That's running over the CAN port, but we have to wire up the power and ground for it too. So let's do that. Alright, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but the auxiliary for here, the AVI1, the map signal is the yellow color, the 5-volt is the orange, and then the ground is the black and white. So we need to match our orange 5-volt to our yellow map, and then our yellow to our green, and then our black to our black. I guess I could have done the colors a little different from on the map, but whatever. What I'm going to do is cut these a little bit shorter. I have plenty of wire to deal with, and then I'm going to use some spade connectors just so that I can pull them apart if I need to, just in case, you know, just for troubleshooting purposes, and go from there. I'm inside my car, and you know, the battery's disconnected, so I have this light in here, so sorry if it's a little dark in some places. And also I am dealing with a sinus infection or something right now, so I sound kind of weird, and I'll be sniffling a lot, so I apologize for that. All right. So there we go. And then once I verify that it recognizes the map sensor, I'll just pull these apart, slip over some heat shrinking, and then good to go. Or some electrical tape if the heat shrinking doesn't fit over this part. Okay, so for the wideband power, the harness comes with, just regular power and ground. And then I have run those wires from over down by the ECU across out through this grommet up here. I don't know if you can see it or not. Comes through the firewall and then comes out underneath this stuff. And this is the power and ground coming across here. Here's a power with a inline fuse, and then this is the ground. They want you to connect it straight to the battery, and then here is the actual O2 sensor harness running across there. It's connected. There's the O2 sensor. We're going to have to calibrate the O2 sensor, which is these instructions here. So once I get the battery and stuff back in, we're going to have to turn the ignition on, wait for the system to stabilize, and then turn the little set screw on the wideband controller all the way counterclockwise, and then turn it slowly until the light starts flashing, and then it's calibrated. And then we can screw it into the bung there, right there, and then we can start cranking the engine over. Well, after I make sure the tune is all set up right, with the new injectors, high impedance instead of low impedance. Excuse me, what is that? The boost control solenoid is reading right. The map sensor is set for external. And then we can turn the engine over to get the coolant and oil flowing through the lines. And then we can try and start it. Alright, well, apparently there's something over here buzzing, and I have no idea what that is. But anyway, here's the wideband. And we have to turn this until it starts flashing. There we go. Apparently it's calibrated now. By the way, I'm using Prestone 50/50 pre-diluted. Alright, so it's Sunday now, and yesterday was a long day. Ran into some issues. First of all, my injectors, they were leaking from between the injector and the fuel rail. So I had to take off the fuel rail again and took out all the injectors, and 3 of the 6 injectors were leaking, and it was because of a pinched O-ring. I
Thought I had used enough lubricant to get it in there, but guess not. So I took the stock O-rings off of the 440 injectors here, and I also took the bottom spacers or O-rings or whatever you want to call them, took those off and used those on the new injectors to replace the ones that came with it, because these ones are a little thick and they were tough to get in, but the stock ones fit around the new injectors just fine, and they fit down into the holes. So I guess we won't be able to tell if those are leaking until the injectors start firing into the motor. So we'll see. It looks a little bulged down at the bottom. It's hard to get the light right, but we'll see. Hopefully it seals up good. Alright, so the buzzing continues until I turn the ignition on. I have the fuel pump fuse taken out so that the car won't start. I also have the cam angle sensor disconnected, so hopefully it still lets me crank it over, but I guess let's just make sure it's out of gear. E-brake up, and I guess let's try and start. Well, crank. I don't know if that oil pressure gauge is going to read anything. But let's try again. Ah, the light went away. I guess it built up some sort of pressure. So now I guess I should go check for oil leaks. Oh! Come along with me on this adventure. I don't see anything here. So hopefully none on the block either. Oh, fingers crossed. I don't see anything. Turn the light on the camera. Doesn't look like there's any leaks. That's good. Hopefully we are good there. Don't see any oil leaks on the return. Okay, guess give it some more cranks and then maybe we can start the motor. Maybe. I guess here goes nothing. Oh. So it sounds like I got a leak coming from somewhere.
It's a little wet right there, so maybe I need to tighten down the exhaust manifold a little bit more. Oh! Let's try this again. Of course, now it won't start. Let's see if it'll stay running. Yep. Well, looks like we need some tuning, obviously, but I think we can call that sort of a success once I can figure out what that is.
Alright guys, so it's been probably about a week since I was able to start the car. I did have an exhaust leak. It happened to be the exhaust manifold didn't sit up flush against the head. That's because the exhaust manifold that I got is from CX Racing, and it was actually designed for a 240SX with an RB26 motor swap into it. So the motor mounts on those cars are different, and number 2 runner or number 3 runner was hitting my motor mount and basically not allowing the manifold to sit flush against the head. So had to grind that down, and that took care of the exhaust leak. Also have the coolant and stuff to still kind of get some air bubbles out of, and my boost solenoid here. This is the correct way. I contacted Haltech. This is one of the ways that they recommend. It's basically split here, teed from the turbo to the bottom port on the wastegate, and then comes around to port 1 of the boost solenoid. The front is vented, and then this port goes to the top port on the wastegate. So, got that all set up. Got the wideband configured and all the settings on the Haltech figured out. Got my injector dead times figured out, so now the car's idling nice and with the air fuel ratio that I want it to. So here's a little exhaust clip for you. Alright guys, well, that pretty much wraps up this episode. I want to thank everyone for all the support that they've been giving me on my videos. You know, it means a lot. You know, kind of rooting me on and waiting to see the next video. Helps me keep these videos going. They're pretty hard to make since, you know, a lot of this stuff is like kind of trial and error for me. I've never done anything like this before. I've seen it done, so that's why I was like, yeah, I can do that, right? But anyway, that should be it for now, I think. I'm gonna button everything up and try and get this thing tuned. Probably gonna run like 15, 17 pounds or something like that. Keep it moderate and then have fun for the summer with it. And then over fall or winter break, then I'll dig into the cams, cam gears, head studs, valve springs and retainers, valve seals, timing belt, water pump, all that stuff. For now, I just want to have fun. So I'm not sure what my tuner, what his schedule looks like. He's actually sick in the hospital and stuff, so I gotta see what his backlog looks like and go from there. I'll try and put out some more videos in the meantime of just stuff that I'm doing. I still need to get my catch can plumbed up and stuff like that, and little things here and there, put my bumper back on, stuff like that. So anyway, if you haven't checked out my website, Goodzilla.com, I've seen me on Facebook, Facebook.com/Goodzilla, excuse me, Instagram.com/Goodzilla. If you want a t-shirt, that really helps support me. Stickers, if you buy a t-shirt, you can get a couple of stickers for free. All you got to do is tell me that you bought a t-shirt. I mean, I see the orders that come through, so it doesn't tell me the name or address or anything like that, because Spreadshirt does all that. So just tell me and I can verify the order number, and then I'll send out some stickers to you for free. So anyway, that's Goodzilla.com/shirts and Goodzilla.com/stickers if you just want the stickers. So yeah, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Leave comments down below for stuff you'd like to see or if you have any questions. And as always, comment and subscribe for more. See ya.